Tesla Optimus robot, huh? They really got people talking with this latest event.
Yeah, it's causing quite a stir.
I mean, it wasn't just another car launch, right?
No, not at all.
This time they had robots just like walking around.
Among Us.
Yeah. Interacting with the crowd, serving drinks.
Mhm.
I even saw a video, I think it was on The Verge, maybe PC Gamer picked it up too, of one playing rock, paper, scissors.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild.
I did see that the Jerusalem Post even covered it.
Yeah, it's everywhere, but like right out of the gate, everyone's kind of like, is this for real?
There's a lot of skepticism,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting in and of itself. I mean, you have these experts, people who are actually at the event, wondering, are these robots really doing this on their own? Like, are they truly autonomous?
Or, is there someone like backstage with a joystick, basically?
Like a very advanced puppet show, essentially.
Right. And
Yeah.
that just made me think of, how sometimes you see something and it reminds you of something else? This whole thing is giving me major Mechanical Turk vibes.
Ah, yes.
Are you familiar with that?
Oh, absolutely. The 18th century chess-playing machine that, well, it wasn't exactly a machine now, was it?
Not really.
People were convinced it was artificial intelligence, though. A marvel of engineering.
I mean, it makes sense.
But there was a hidden compartment, you see. A very small, very skilled human chess master inside, controlling its every move.
So basically, they'd been fooled by this illusion of AI.
Exactly.
And now, with Optimus, some people are wondering if we're being fooled again.
And there are some parallels for sure.
Like, even just reading some of the articles, Ars Technica, for example, they were talking about how, the movements are really fluid.
Too fluid, maybe.
Yeah, and even some of the conversations that Optimus was having, they seemed almost too natural.
Almost like they were scripted, perhaps.
Right, and it makes you wonder, is this just a really good marketing ploy?
Well, I mean, it's definitely gotten everyone's attention, hasn't it? And it speaks to something really interesting. And we humans, we're drawn to the idea of artificial intelligence, even if it turns out to be an illusion.
It's like, are we more excited about the tech itself, or are we more excited about what we want the tech to be?
It's a good question.
And it gets even trickier when you listen to Elon Musk talk about Optimus.
Right.
Because he's saying things like, it'll be able to do anything you want, be your friend, serve you drinks, walk amongst us without fear. I mean, that guy has always been ambitious, but...
Ambitious is one way to put it.
And then he throws out this price tag, $20,000 to $30,000.
Which, if it can actually do all that, seems like...
Steal.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, for a robot to be truly autonomous, and that's a very important word to define here, right? Autonomy means it can make decisions and act without any human intervention. So for it to do all that at that price point...
Something doesn't add up.
Precisely. And it begs the question, is Tesla being completely upfront about how autonomous Optimus really is? Or are they perhaps perpetuating this illusion a little bit to generate excitement?
Okay, so let's say, just for the sake of argument, that there is some level of remote control going on here.
Okay.
Does that mean Optimus is all smoke and mirrors? Like, is there nothing to see here? I mean, if it's as groundbreaking as some of these articles, even Musk himself is making it sound.
I see where you're coming from.
You'd think they'd be shouting about it from the rooftops, right?
Well, even if Optimus isn't fully autonomous, at least not yet, you can't deny the hardware itself is impressive.
Right.
I mean, those movements, the way it can interact with, like, delicate objects.
Yeah, like those drinks.
Right. Even navigating a room full of people. That's not easy. They've clearly done some seriously sophisticated engineering.
Yeah, and that Newsweek article we talked about, the one with the pictures, it really highlighted that. Even some of the people who were like, I'm not sure I buy the AI, they were blown away by just how realistic the movements looked.
Exactly, and that's really worth digging into a little bit, because even if this isn't true sentience, those actuators they're using, basically like artificial muscles, super sophisticated. Those are light years ahead of anything we've seen before.
So you're saying that even with the remote control possibility, the physical robot itself...
Huge step forward.
Okay.
It might be that what we're seeing is this kind of Vengeance. You've got the advanced robotics, but then this layer of almost theatrical illusion on top.
Interesting. So then that begs the question, why would Tesla even go to all this trouble?
Why indeed?
I mean, to get people talking, right?
Well, sure, there's the marketing angle, generate some buzz, capture the public imagination.
Mission accomplished.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's also something to be said for, and this has happened throughout history with technology, the idea of a demonstration platform.
Demonstration platform. What do you mean by that?
So it's like a proof of concept, but on a much grander scale.
Yeah.
You're showcasing what the technology could potentially do, even if it's not quite there yet. And remember Tesla, they're not just thinking about selling robots, they want to revolutionize industries.
Okay, so it's as much about attracting investors, maybe even recruiting talent, as it is about selling us on Optimus right now.
Exactly, because if you can demonstrate what's possible, even if there's a bit of showmanship involved,
You get people excited.
right, and you draw in the brightest minds, the people who want to be a part of that future.
Interesting. Okay, so let's say down the line, Optimus does become everything Elon Musk says it will be,
Okay.
able to do, as he put it, anything you want. And poverty, make your coffee in the morning, all of that.
The billion-dollar question, right? What happens then?
Yeah, because that's both really exciting and also kind of,
Terrifying.
yeah, a little bit. Like that Jerusalem Post article you shared, they really went deep on the potential economic implications.
Which are huge.
Right. Musk is talking about this massive boost to productivity. Sure.
But what about all the jobs that could be automated away?
Right. The future of labor is a huge, huge part of this conversation. I mean, think about it. What happens to truck drivers when we have self-driving vehicles everywhere?
Factory workers.
Construction, even customer service, all of these roles that could potentially be done by robots.
It's a lot to process. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, no one loves doing dishes.
Right.
So the idea of having robots to do those kind of dangerous, repetitive tasks, it's appealing. But then there's this whole other side of it where it's like, are we putting ourselves out of work?
Yeah, it's like we're standing on the edge of this, I don't know, this huge shift, and we don't even know what the landscape is going to look like on the other side.
And it's not just the economic side of it either, right?
Right.
Think about the social implications. What happens when you've got robots in all these different roles in society?
It's like that line between science fiction and reality is getting really blurry.
Totally. And that's what makes this whole conversation so crucial. I mean, we could end up with robots as companions, carriers like Musk was saying, even teachers.
It's a lot. Like, part of me thinks, okay, a robot do the laundry, sign me up. But then you start thinking, what does that do to actual human connection, you know?
Exactly. And that brings us right back to the heart of the matter. This idea of, are we chasing this perfect illusion of AI, even if it's got some smoke and mirrors behind it? Or should we be focusing on building robots where what you see is what you get, even if it's not as initially impressive?
So it's not just about, like, how cool the robot looks. It's about the ethics of how we get there and what kind of impact it has on us as a society.
100%. Because a robot serving cocktails, that's a great headline. But the bigger picture, the thing we really need to be grappling with is what kind of future are we creating with this technology? Are we being thoughtful about it? Are we being transparent?
Right, because it's not like the robots are just going to appear one day, right? We're making choices today that are shaping what that future looks like.
Exactly. And I think, hopefully, this deep dive has given our listeners something to chew on.
Definitely. Because this Optimus thing, it sparked this huge conversation, and it feels like we're just getting started.
We're at the very beginning.
Yeah, and it's about more than just Tesla or even just robots. It's about our relationship with technology as a whole.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, we'll leave you with this. As you see more about Optimus, as you see more about robotics in general, don't just be wowed by the spectacle. Ask the hard questions, demand transparency from the companies building this tech, and really think about the kind of future you want to be a part of. Because the robots are coming, but how they fit into our world, that's still being decided.